How to get the potent sulfur in Minecraft. Potent sulfur is a new block that can be used to create geysers that can push entities on the surface or underwater high in the air. How to use the potent sulfur. Potent sulfur can be used to create geysers. There are two types, periodic and continuous. A periodic geyser will have a dormant phase before it erupts. To get a periodic geyser, place a potent sulfur block above a magma block with water above that. The continuous geyser will be potent sulfur above a lava source block. The number of water source blocks has to be between 1 to 4 above the potent sulfur. This will affect the size of the geyser, the eruption length, the dormant phase. Potent sulfur underwater will also create noxious gas on the surface, which will be yellow gas particles. This will give the player the nausea effect for 4 seconds, making the player's vision wobble. How to get the potent sulfur. The potent sulfur will have a different appearance than the other sulfur block, being a brighter yellow. Potent sulfur will have to be mined with the pickaxe, otherwise it will be destroyed. There are only 2 locations to find the potent sulfur in the world. This would be the sulfur springs and the sulfur caves. The sulfur springs are found on the surface in any biome and will be above the sulfur caves. The springs will be composed of sulfur blocks, cinnabar blocks, and a pool of water. The sulfur caves will be underground biomes that will be covered in sulfur and cinnabar blocks. They will be found bordering other mountain biomes. The best way to find them is by using the F3 screen and the chunk generation stats, as they will appear in the areas with the W value of -0.45 and below. W indicates the weirdness and represents ridges. I'll have a card on the top right on how to find the sulfur caves. In both the springs and caves, the location of the potent sulfur can be found by looking for noxious gas on the surface of the water. Besides finding potent sulfur blocks, you can also craft potent sulfur with 9 sulfur blocks. Sulfur blocks are found in the same location as potent sulfur in the sulfur caves and springs. Also, another way is through a crafting recipe of 4 sulfur spikes can be crafted into a sulfur block. So 36 sulfur spikes can be turned into a potent sulfur block. The sulfur spike can grow if placed on a sulfur block. It doesn't need a water source block above it to grow like pointed dripstone. The growth rate is similar to pointed dripstone. There is a 1.1% chance every random tick for the spike to grow 1 block. This would be on average 5 Minecraft days or 100 minutes. The growth rate of sulfur spikes will be slow.